Welcome to Modo di Bere, the podcast about local drinks and local sayings. I'm your host, Rose Thomas Bannister. I'm reporting from the 21st day of 32 days on the road from Modo di Bere, from the Texas Hill Country to the Texas High Plains, from western New Mexico to the Navajo Nation, from Rome to Calabria to the Tuscan heartland. Along with local drinks and local sayings, I've learned some new parlor games, if parlor game is the right term for dominoes, and I've had a few more adventurous driving experiences, including in a biscuit wagon pulled by a team of Belgian mules. I should be back with an interview next week for the podcast if all goes as planned, but if there's anything I'm learning out on this trip, it's to not be too rigid in the face of unpredictable fate. Yam veren, let's go looking, is a phrase in dialect from Salerno in southern Italy. You can watch the winemaker Silvia Imparato teaching me this phrase in a video I posted on the Modo di Bere Instagram account back on July 11th. Yam veren strikes me as more active than let's find out, more hopeful and open than let's see. I tend to get too married to the structure of my schemes and outlines. I need this advice to let go, to look around, and to be open to new ways of living. In another sense, it could be a reminder to be more observant of your surroundings. On this trip, I did some literal looking around on the advice of Elmer Yazzie, a Navajo storyteller, artist, and retired art teacher and track coach. We were both experiencing the unexpected. My friend Bruce and I were waiting for Elmer on a dirt road in Mariano Lake, New Mexico. Elmer was delayed by a long wedding and the needs of some horses. "Where can we go to kill time?" I asked Elmer. "Is there a cafe?" This was not really a question. Bruce and I had already driven around extensively trying to find the chapter house. I was pretty sure there was not a cafe. Rather than killing time, now there's a saying, Elmer suggested we sit and enjoy the solitude, looking at one section of the Mesa for a good 5 minutes before moving on to the next. So Bruce handed me a camp chair, I walked down to the end of the road, and I studied the Mesa. It struck me as a good exercise for writers, and I felt like a writer while I did it. It was a fine thing to do during my first New Mexico sunset in many years. A long wait was transformed into hardly enough time to see even one mesa in this beautiful part of the world. I learned other lessons from Mr. Yazzie during our eventual interview in the Black Bull family's Hogan and during the 3rd annual Indigenous Peoples Day trail ride that Elmer organized from Mariano Lake to Rehoboth. We talked about the doctrine of discovery, Christopher Columbus, the lingering damage of language theft by the residential school program, the philosophy of art, and Elmer's relationship with horses. This interview will be published on the Modo di Bere YouTube channel sometime after I return to New York when I'm finished with this journey. I grew up in the country, more or less, but it had been a very long time since I'd ridden a horse, and I was nervous. I asked Elmer for advice, and he told me not to be nervous, that the horse would know if I was afraid. He also gave me other advice and instruction to help me feel more connected to the horse and more sure of what to do. The next day, Elmer let me ride his own horse, Sugar. Sugar is small and speckled and very soft. She used to be a wild horse. When the trail riders all left the road, then ran straight up a hill, I told myself not to be afraid, and I just asked Sugar not to let me fall, and she didn't. It's an experience I'm still thinking about. I want to say thank you to Elmer Yazzie, to the Black Bull family, and to the whole community who invited me and my friends to be a part of the Indigenous Peoples Day trail ride. As I travel, I'm so grateful to all the people who share their history and customs, their food and drink, and yes, time with their animals. I've seen dogs and cats, deer and mules, horses and ponies, and llamas and bulls on this trip. Biodiversity is such a delight. Follow Modo di Bere on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok for even more unique and encouraging drinks and language content. If you would love for the show to continue and grow, support Modo di Bere on Patreon and unlock bonus episodes. Find out more at mododibere.com, where you can also sign up for my newsletter. Music for the podcast was composed by Ercilia Prosperi and performed by the band O. You can purchase their recordings at oumusic.bandcamp.com.